Welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Wolak. I'm here each and every day as we explore life together. My purpose in life is very simple: to help humanity become more aware. I do that through teaching how to live consciously and experience a fulfilled and meaningful life. That's what I do. That's why I'm here with you today. And today I want to talk about clarity. Because just when you think you're clear, if you ask a new question, you get clearer. And I asked a question last night about my life purpose. And then in meditation this morning, I got greater clarity on what my life purpose was: to teach how to live consciously and experience a more fulfilled and meaningful life. That's my purpose. It's that simple. But it wasn't that easy to come up with, and it didn't come up right away. And then I noticed today that one of the values that I have as one of my highest values was different. It was once to create intimate relationships and build community. Then it was to build community. Now it's simply interpersonal relationships. I like really taking things and getting really clear on them and simplifying interpersonal relationships. That can mean with a life partner. That can mean with your children, a grandchild, a parent. It could mean with a friend. It could be with a community. It could be with a group. It doesn't matter. It's interpersonal relationships. And for me, that's always about meaningful. I don't even have to say that word, because if a relationship is not meaningful, I'm not going to give it any time. Remember, my purpose is to teach how to live consciously and experience fulfilled and meaningful relationships. So that's above my values. So that you would assume that it goes there. Here's what I know: constantly question everything. Never stop questioning, because here's what's happening. Every day you are changing. Do you get that? Every day you are changing. So things in your life will change as you change, unless you don't change. That's fascinating when you really break it down and you start to understand that the thing that we call life is forever moving. It's never, ever going to stand still. So if you're standing still and you're not asking questions, you're bored out of your mind. Let me just say that. You're bored out of your mind. And if you think something's of value to you, but you're not willing to take a step in the direction of it, that you're procrastinating, guess what? It's not a value. It's not a value unless you're taking action. And that's what separates those who live a fulfilled and meaningful life, is they are taking action in the direction of what's most important to them. Get that? They're taking action. Action is a key to experience life in human form. Without action, not going to happen. Hey, I haven't said hi to all of you out there, but I see you checking in, and I love that you're checking in, giving me good mornings and thoughts and all of that. Please continue to do that. I love knowing who's out there. So I know Jean and Jilma and Richard, Keshev, Marilla and Annette and Chris. I know you're out there. That's all I can see on my screen right now. So if you are out there and you've checked in and you haven't said, oh, Sabrina decided, I want some attention too. Hey, Sabrina, I'll give you some attention. Sabrina, what's the most meaningful question you can ask about your life today? Ooh, I put you on the spot, didn't I? Well, let me put everybody on the spot out there. What is the most meaningful question you can ask yourself today? Isn't it great to be forced to think so early? Why not? You're awake. If you're awake, then you've got life. Keshev says, how to live in love. Keshev, good question. Really good question. And Keshav, do you know where the answer is going to come from? Within you. Within you. I don't have your answer. Neither does anyone else. I know that in India, people commonly turn to the guru for the answer. Gurus don't have your answer. You do. Susie says, what is my intuition telling me is my next step? Great question. Sabrina says, am I living my life with unconditional love? Here's a great question, Sabrina. Back at you. Are you unconditionally loving yourself? RNJ says, how to serve my fellow man. I would even say it differently. How can I use my unique gifts to serve more people? You notice how I rephrase that? I got a little subtle there. How to use my unique gifts to serve greater numbers of people. Richard says, how to achieve real and lasting freedom and sovereign sustainability? Good question. Chris says, what actions or non-actions should I take next to support my purpose? Perfect. Sometimes non-action is a great action. So that's really good that you brought that up, Chris. Here's the key thing. Are you really clear on your purpose? Matthew from New Zealand checked in. Oh my gosh, aren't you loving this? Jilma says, am I doing my best every day? And she says, I'm reading the 4 Agreements again. And Jilma, let me say this. His next book in that line, The 5th Agreement, is a really big one. It summarizes the 4 agreements, but the 5th agreement is what? What we're talking about. Question everything. And then Lori pops in. Well, you have questions for the next week to answer now. Well, that's the purpose. Cliff says, am I being true to thyself? I think he meant myself, because that's the most important thing. Am I being true to myself? Then you got to ask the question, what being true to myself means. That would be, okay, if I think true, I think, well, true means, am I being authentic with myself, to myself? Well, then, if I'm being authentic, what does it mean to be authentic? That comes back to knowing what the hierarchy of your values are. If you don't know the hierarchy of your values, how can you be authentic? We talked about that in the workshop I did on Saturday about the values determination process and how do you determine what are your highest values. I love that all of you are willing to be out there and put your questions out there. I think it's great. That's what this is. We are building right here a little community. A community where we support and grow each other. Isn't that the only reason to be in community or to be in any relationship? Even if it's virtual. Guess what? What are we doing right now? We're creating a fulfilled and meaningful life. Isn't that great? And in order to do that, what do we have to do? We're becoming more aware. Life is good when you get some simplicity. Life is great when you get some simplicity. So I am right now wanting to say to you how grateful I am for your engagement today. How grateful I am for you to be authentic and real. Sandy says, explain tough love. I don't know that there's anything called tough love. I think love means to accept. So if I have a child, I accept where they are. If they're a drug addict, I accept that they're a drug addict. That's love. Now, how do I deal with them? That's a conscious choice. Do I support them by giving them money to support their drug habit? I get to choose that. That's not love. That's just a choice of how I'm going to use my resources. The choice of where I spend my time. The choice of where I give my energy. But you see, that's not tough love. There's no such thing as tough love. Loving is tough because loving means accepting as is without change. So you're taking a term that society's used that I don't agree with its meaning, and I'm shifting it on you, saying that love is total acceptance. And loving is tough because we've not been taught to accept. We've been taught conditional love, that if you meet my expectations, I will love you. Well, that's not love. That's conditional. That's codependency. Lori says, letting them make mistakes, including accepting the consequences. That's right. Daughter feels like that's what it is. Well, that's what she feels. She's just in that level of awareness. So fine, accept her that she's in that level of awareness and she doesn't like your decisions. Well, you know what? Too bad. Your daughter's a grown-up woman and you're a grown-up woman and you get to make your own decisions and you don't need your daughter's approval. I'm just going to say that to everyone. I know, Sandy. That's why I'm talking the way I am. Hope versus belief. Keshev, hope is wishing. Belief is knowing. But hope is better than despair. But belief is knowing. I know what's going to happen to me and how I'm living my life. I don't hope for it to happen. There's the difference there. So, folks, we've had a great discussion. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep asking those questions and know that while you're doing it, by my definition, I love and I accept you just like you are. So go create your great day, everyone. Aloha.